Hey guys, I'd love to welcome you all back to my channel. My name is Mark Bouquin and I'm a Timbersports athlete. To get my channel started off on the right foot, I just wanted to let you guys know who I am, where I came from, and how I got into Timbersports. Just give you a little more information about me before we get rolling into all the fun stuff. I got started, let's wind back a little further. When I was very young growing up, I was always very outdoorsy. I spent a lot of time outside. We split wood for heating the home, and my dad, he taught the hunter ed safety courses, and so we're very hands-on the outdoors, hunting, trapping, kind of utilizing the land. So I was very outdoorsy kid. I played a lot of sports, so that kind of led me into trying to pursue a college degree in something related to being outdoors. So that led me into finding Paul Smith's college, where it was up in the Adirondacks, and it's a forestry school. So I was like, perfect. It was right up my alley. I go get a forestry degree. They have a huge campus right up in the high peaks. I can go hiking, camping, hunting, trapping, do all of it. So I got into Paul Smith's, and when I got there, I heard about this woodsman's team, and I was like, well, what's that? And it's like, well, it's a collegiate sport where you're chopping wood and splitting wood and throwing wood and climbing trees. And I was like, it sounds amazing. So I got started in timber sports through the woodsman's team at college. By the time I was getting ready to graduate, I was approached by some recruiters for a lumberjack show. And the lumberjack show was located in Ketchikan, Alaska. So they did a tryouts, and I did well enough where they offered me a position. So it was kind of my opening and my foot in the door into professional timber sports. During my time there, I was just trying to hone in my skills, learn as much as I could, and accumulate as much equipment as I could. And I competed a very little on the professional level, but I did a lot of shows, and it was kind of a way for us young guys to be paid essentially to train. It was a fun show to watch. People enjoy it. It's entertainment. And we have corny jokes. We were cut off sleeves and suspenders and the whole thing. And it was a really fun show, but the whole point was I do 3 to 4 shows a day. And so that means I could chop 3 to 4 standing blocks and 3 to 4 springboard chops, 3 to 4 underhand chops. Got the log roll and boom run, axe throw, double buck, speed climb. Back then I used to speed climb. I don't do that anymore. It's a young man's game. Well, for the most part. But anyway, so I did lumberjack shows for about 4.5 years and competed a little bit on my own at like Squamish, British Columbia. And then when I left Ketchikan is when I started pursuing timber sports more full time. In my early timber sports career, I never made it high enough to be in the Steel Series, but I was competing and trying to make a name for myself and still learning. And then I was offered a gig to build and help manage a lumberjack show in Tennessee called Paula Dean's Lumberjack Feud. And that was back in 2019 is when I went down there, right? Or was it 2018? Either way, I went down there. I helped build the show with a couple other guys from the ground up, and I was there for a full year. And a lot of the guys that got hired for that year were in the pro ranks in the Steel Series. So I got to really pick their brain and learn, fine-tune more of my technique. And throughout that year, I learned a lot, got some more equipment. And then I think 2019, the beginning of that year, is when I left. And that was my first year applying and getting into the Steel Series, which is the big competition of 6 disciplines. And that's the one that's televised, and that's the one everyone wants to get into. But that was the first year of me getting into the Steel Series, and I was a pre-qualifier. So I wasn't even in the regular qualifiers. I was a pre-qualifier. And I won the pre-qualifiers, so I got in the qualifier round the next day. And then I got second in the qualifiers behind Matt Koger. And then I went all the way to the semifinals, where I made it to the finals. And I was top 10 finalist in 2019. And I was a pre-qualifier. So that was really cool. That was a huge accomplishment for me, kind of early-ish on in my career. And since then, I've been in the Steel Series every year. COVID happened. I did run into some health issues where I developed atrial fibrillation. And so by going into AFib, I had to get cardioverted, and then I had to get an ablation surgery, which corrected the AFib, but I actually had some complications afterwards. So I've been struggling for about 2.5 years with recovering from that, which my heart has recovered, and I competed full-time I tried competing most throughout the whole time, but last year I competed full time and did well, and I ended up getting seventh overall in the U.S. Steel Series, which was my highest placing so far to date. And I set 2 years ago a U.S. record in the single buck. So last year I was also invited to participate on the U.S. relay team for the Worlds, which is my first time ever being able to do that. And we ended up taking silver at the World Championships for the U.S. relay team. Going into this year, my heart is healthy. I've got almost all the equipment I need. I'm competing at the highest level, but I'm still fighting to get my health back. My heart's good, but I got some weight to lose. So you guys can join me on my journey back to being healthy and getting fit while also competing full time. So it's exciting. I mean, I'm really thrilled to get back into this. I mean, like I said, I haven't left. I've still been competing. I've been just, struggling, getting through some things. But now that I'm healthy in the sense of my heart and stuff, you guys can join me in my experience with getting back into shape, losing this weight, building my endurance and strength, and then really trying to be a force to be reckoned with in timber sports. I'm really looking forward to breaking some new milestones and hopefully making some new records. Everyone wants to win. It's not easy, so everyone's got to do their best. Everyone wants that title, but I'm gonna make it hard for them to get it. So I really appreciate you guys joining me. And if you guys have any comments or questions, feel free to say anything on your mind. This whole channel for me is not only about my journey in timber sports, but I also want to try to teach as much as I can about the sport and each event. I want people to be able to learn how to do each of these events in timber sports. I might not know everything, but I can teach you what I know, and I'm open up to suggestions and all that on top of it. So I hope it's a good learning tool for people. I hope it's entertaining, and I hope we can communicate and build this sport, because this is a fun sport. It's got a lot of history to it, and I'd love to see this sport blow up and get big. So thank you guys, and I'm really excited.